Now, time is just flying by. It seems like just yesterday that I was expecting. And moms, you will get this, right? When you're expecting, complete strangers will walk right up to you. They'll put their hand right on your belly. I hate that. Especially because I'm not pregnant. That is just creepy in Walmart. But my son now is already 268 months. And he just graduated college with a degree in film and cinematography. That was weak. Okay. It's okay. But, you know, he was able to help me put together a 3-minute demo video using his new skills. And that video only cost me $100,000. Now, he is my only child, so you can imagine how upset I was when I found out that he wanted to relocate to our basement. All right, by looking at me, you might not know this, but I love children, except for the little neighborhood kid. He keeps banging on my door. Mrs. Corey, we're raising funds for a class trip to Disney. I'm like, I don't think so, Parker. You're homeschooled. So I found out some really important information. I want to pass this on to you. There are certain things that you can say to children that you should never say to adults. But imagine if you could. Here you are, you're at a family reunion. Oh my goodness, Aunt Becky, look at you. You've gotten so big since the last time I've seen you. You are quite the chunky monkey. I bet you grew out of all your clothes you had from last year. Cousin Carl, my goodness, looks like you lost another tooth. You are gonna put that tooth fairy out of business. Uh-oh. Think somebody here had a little accident. Was that you, Nana? Cousin Karen, I can tell you've been cutting your own hair again, haven't you? We need to get those scissors away from her. Uncle Billy, I can tell you got dressed today all by yourself. So I was scrolling on Facebook, you know, and one of my Facebook friends posted, "Oh, my husband, he's so sweet. He just sent me this beautiful bouquet of flowers for no reason at all. It's gonna be a great day." So I posted, "My husband just put his underwear in the hamper. It's gonna be a fantastic day." But I've been married now for 25 years. Yeah, we're at that point where we complete each other's sentences with all the wrong words. But I remember the very beginning of our marriage, right? My husband would be getting ready for work, and he'd come over and give me a little kiss goodbye, and I'd smell his Calvin Klein cologne. And now, he's getting ready for work, and he comes over and he gives me a kiss goodbye, and I smell Ben Gay. It's not sexy at all, but it has cleared out my nostrils. And over time, we've learned how to speak each other's love language. Like, he knows mine is spending quality time, and I know his is, "Stop spending money, Rhonda." We've also learned each other's timetables. Like, I know now when he says, honey, there's only 5 minutes left in the game. It means the same thing as when I say, honey, I'll be ready in 5 minutes. So we're in the car, we're spending some quality time together. And he looks over at me and he says, Rhonda, do you know what's longer than the line at Walmart on Black Friday? And I said, would that be your love for me? And he said, no, that would be the hair on your chin. So I flipped the mirror down. I'm like, oh yeah, that is quite a whisker. So I took my fingernails, and I put them together and I tried to pluck it out. Ladies, you know what happened. Curled that baby like a Christmas ribbon. So I reach in my bag and I'm trying to find my tiny little flat iron. And I straightened it out. Gelled it back down. And I didn't make any mention of the mohawk that was growing out of his ear. So we pull into the parking lot, right? And he parked so far from the restaurant door, I started a fundraiser for the walkathon. I'm out there getting sponsors. 50 cents a mile. He said, Rhonda, it's good exercise. I said, honey, you go on ahead. I'm gonna wait for my Uber. So I meet him at the restaurant door, and there's a big sign that says, kids eat free every Tuesday. And what I see is, don't come here on Tuesday. So we get inside the restaurant, and I hand off my Fitbit to the waitress. And we sit down, and he is not paying any attention to me whatsoever. And I'm thinking, maybe it's my beard. Well, I look around, and there's televisions all over this place. I'm like, oh, that's why I picked it. I thought it was because we had a coupon. So I reached in my handbag, and I pulled out my universal remote, and I shut them all off. Now I had his attention. And the attention of the manager. And we are no longer welcome at Applebee's. So we're having this amazing conversation. Okay, basically, I was just talking a lot. And I said to him, honey, I think I want to buy one of those coloring books, that they have for grown-ups. And he said, why, Rhonda? You're never going to use it. When's the last time you used your grown-up Easy Bake Oven? He's always trying to get me to cook. He calls me every day on the way home from work. Hey, what do you think about dinner? I'm like, I think it's a great idea. He said, you know what, Rhonda? I want cooking to be fun for you. Money is no object. You go out and you buy yourself one of those fancy kitchen gadgets. You guys, I found the world's greatest kitchen gadget. I love my new vending machine. Guess what his favorite meal is? E7. So 25 years we've been married, right? Last year, he totally forgot our anniversary. So many wives would give their husbands the silent treatment. I would never do that. Why reward him? And I know this because for Christmas, I bought him these noise-canceling headphones, He wears them all the time. They're not connected to anything. He said they're his favorite gift ever. But you know what? This year, he totally made it up to me. He went out and he bought me this very pricey Swarovski crystal bracelet. But don't mention it to him because it's a surprise.
Before I got that job at the call center, I was actually working with the U.S. Army Reserve. I did 6 years there, and that sucked. The only reason I really bring it up to let you guys know that I had a military ID. It's a driver's license. It has my picture on it, has an expiration date on it, and that part would have been really good for me to have paid attention to and remembered the date of. Mine expired about 4 years into my 6-year contract. And I had to go up to Jacksonville, Naval Air Station in Jacksonville to get it renewed, which at the time was about 2.5 hours away from where I lived. And I had to go up to NAS Jackson. On NAS Jax, they had a building that was exclusively for ID card renewal. They did not do anything else in this building except renew ID cards. I need you to know that for later. And I got on base, and I walked into the building, and I handed the ID to the guy at the desk, and he looked at it for about 3 seconds and just went, "Hey, man, this is expired." And I said, "Excellent work, detective. I can see why they've hired." Guy, that's like pulling up to a mechanic and the guy just going, "You do got a flat tire on your car?" "Yes, I do. You are truly doing the Lord's work at this Walmart tire center, aren't you, bud? You are crushing it." And I looked the guy in the face and I was like, "Yes, that is why I am here in the building exclusively for ID card renewal. You should know that. You work here." And he said, "Right, okay, well, I can't take a picture of you with facial hair. Do you have a razor on you?" And I patted my pockets as if that was just a thing people carried around. And I said, "No. I must have left that at home with the other things people leave at home." And he said, "Oh, okay. Well, what you can do is go across the street to the commissary. There you can buy some razors, and then you can come back, go in a bathroom, shave your face, take a picture, and be on your way." And I said, "That sounds like an unnecessary step." And he said, "Is this your first day in the Army?" And I said, "Fair point." So I went. I walked across the street to the commissary, and for those of you that don't know, a commissary is like a supermarket on base. And to shop there, you must be military personnel or family thereof, which means any given day, it's mostly just wives, which means any given Tuesday, place is filled with retired strippers. You guys got it? Yeah, you're... Oh, what? What is it now? Future nurses? Is that the phrase? How is that worse? They're getting an education. I'm not the bad guy here. Meet someone in the military. They'll tell you I'm not wrong. Jeez, Lou. So I walked in the strip club and I go to buy razors. As I'm checking out, I hand the guy at the register my ID and the razors, and he looks at my ID for a few seconds and just says, "Hey, man, this is expired." And I said, "That's not even your job." That's like trying to buy razors at a Walmart. The guy at the register just goes, "You know you got a flat tire on your car? Are you the same guy from the tire center? What is happening here?" I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, I know that. I actually went to the tire center earlier and he told me I couldn't take a picture of facial hair, so he sent me here to buy razors, which you know because you're holding them right now." And he said, "Oh, okay. Well, I can't sell you anything with an expired ID. So what you can do is leave base. Take a right. There's a super Target there. Then you can go into Target, buy some razors, and then you can come back, get on base, go in a bathroom, shave your face, take a picture, and be on your way." And I said, "That sounds like an unnecessary step." So I went. I left base, I took a right, I walked into Super Target. I bought raises at Target. Target didn't really care that my ID was expired, and I feel like that's worth mentioning right now. And as I'm coming back, I realized the amount of time it took me to go to Target, buy razors, and come back, they had replaced the person at the main gate with someone else who cared about their job just a little bit more than the previous person had. Because when I handed them my ID, he looked at it for about 3 seconds and just went, "Hey man, this is expired." And I said, "Ding, ding, ding, you are my 1 millionth customer! You win nothing!" And he said, "What?" And I said, "Never mind. I've already been on base today, man. I got on base, I went to the tire center. He said I couldn't take a picture of facial hair. He sent me to the strip club. Strip club said they couldn't sell me razor expired ID. He sent me to Target. Target didn't really care that my ID was expired, and I feel like that's worth mentioning right now. I just need to get on base." And he said, "I can't let you on base with an expired ID. So what you can do is go in this building over here and ask for a pass. They'll give you one. Then you can get on base, go in a bathroom, shave your face, take a picture, and be on your way." And I said, "Is that your motto? Ha ha, thank you." So I went. I walked into the building and I walked up to the guy behind the window and I slid him my ID under the window. Before I let go of it, I said, "Excuse me, sir. My ID is expired." "I already know that. I'm here to get it renewed." "Thank you." And he said, "Okay." And he looked down at my ID for a few seconds. He looked up at me and he kind of held it up and compared the two. Then he looked back down at the ID and he said, "Hey man, this is expired." Tire center. He said I couldn't take a picture of facial hair. He sent me to the strip club to buy razors. Strip club said they couldn't sell me razor expired ID. He sent me to Target. Target didn't really care that my ID was expired. I feel like that's worth mentioning right now. And I get back to the main gate. He said I couldn't get on base with expired ID. I told him I already went to the tire center, the strip club, and Target. Target was really nice to me. And he sent me here so I could get a pass, so I could get on base, so I could go in a bathroom, shave my face, take a picture, and be on my way. I have had a long day. Can you please help me? And he said, "Well, how do I know you're still in the Army if your ID's expired? Do you have your contract on you?" And I patted my pockets. And I said, "No, I must have left that at home with my razors!" And he said, "Well, then there's nothing I can do." And he slid my ID back under the window and he closed it and he stared at me like a nighttime 7-Eleven employee. So I left. That's the end of the story. I wish it ended differently too. I wish I could stand here right now and tell you I broke the window that day and forced that man to write me a pass so I could get on base, go in a bathroom, shave my face, take a picture, and be on my way. But that's not what happened that day. What happened that day is I left base, I went to a gas station parking lot, I ate an entire pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and I cried. So the moral of the story is, if you can do something small to help someone have a better day, you should. And if you get the chance, shop at Target.
If you haven't laughed at y'all yet, I'm assuming it's just because you're still trying to figure out ethnically what I am. The best way to describe what this face means is half of me built the railroads in this country, and the other half told the first half to do that. My mom hates that joke a lot. Guess which one she is. On my white side, it's a lot of German. Very, very German. I speak German, almost fluently. I speak it pretty much fluently. So after the show, if you speak German, don't talk to me because I'm lying. But I speak it pretty fluently, and I love the language. I think it gets a bad rap because here they just show us German propaganda, basically. Like, they all sound like, like mean. When you listen to the language, it's kind of nice. And also, their language gives you an insight into how they think. The efficiency, literal, that's very German. For example, look at the translations from English to German, literally, and you will see how German minds work, all right? We say things in our language, in English, like, have fun, right? That's what you guys are doing now. Fun is just something you can have. You want some fun? Here, take some. Oh, look, I found some fun back here. You want it? Go take it. Germans say mach Spaß, which literally translates to make fun. Because you're not allowed to just have fun. In German, oh, you think you can just have the fun lying around? Or you think the fun just grows on the fun tree, and then you just climb the fun tree like a little fun monkey, and you grab the fun fruit, and this is delicious fun fruit. And the fun juice drips down the fun chin and the fun chest onto the fun ground. You think that's how this works? You didn't even plant that fun seed. That's someone else's. It grew into the fun tree, and you stole the fun fruit. You are a fun thief, and you steal fun. That is who you are. I wouldn't put it past a German person to go to a little girl, like 4-year-olds, for a birthday party, and be like, you little girl, what is all this? Ribbons, cake, presents? All for you, for fun? You know the only person who made fun on this day, who did work on this day? Your mother. This iPad is hers now. Thank you very much. Here you go, Mama. Have fun with Candy Crush. You, here's a stick, here's a knife, go whittle something, make some fun. What's your high score? My mom is an immigrant fresh off the boat from Hong Kong. She's Chinese, in case you didn't get the railroad thing. And I feel for her, because she told me a lot of, moving to the Midwest, she told me a lot of, horror stories about the racism she had to encounter when she was here. So I was fully on board with the Stop Asian Hate movement. I was 100% on board with that. And my favorite story was about the 76-year-old Chinese grandma who got blindside punched, but then grabbed a stick and beat her assailant into a stretcher. Now, if you're not clapping or laughing and you didn't like that, think about if someone punched your grandma and then your grandma just went Rambo on them. How would you react? You'd be like, yo, grandma, you got this. I'm gonna hang back, scared of you more than ever. But here's why that's my favorite story. Because if that assailant, if that dude was a little bit less racist, just a little bit, he would have known that a stick is a minority grandparent's favorite thing to beat people with. What? That's her secret weapon. That's like punching a gremlin near water. What are you doing? It's the same thing. In both instances, you're punching something ancient, tiny, and Asian that if it touches the thing next to it has the power to suddenly destroy you. It's It's insane. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this woman's been beating kids since the Ming Dynasty. You don't think she can take out a millennial from the Bay Area? That's nothing. That is nothing to her. Catholic nuns watch YouTube tutorial videos of old Asian women just beating people with sticks like, yo, Mei Ling got hands. What do you think, sister? Subscribe? Yeah, I got this. I don't even think she picked up the stick. I think she got punched, landed, and then like Thor's hammer, she just reached down, pow, just knocked him across the freeway. Mei Ling for life. The only thing that would have made this story any better, the only thing, is if she would have handled the interview afterwards like a pro athlete. Because she was, quavering. She's an old lady. But that would have been awesome, is if the reporter came up and was just like, so how did you fight off someone who was bigger, faster, and stronger than you? And she just stole the mic out of the hand, and it was like, it ain't about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight in the dog. Just drop the mic, drop the stick, off to the locker room. Mei Ling's out. Mei Ling's coming back in the second half swinging. Who wants some? Who wants some? But because I grew up in the Midwest, I just wish I knew more about my Chinese heritage. You know what I mean? I don't know as much as I want to, but I do know that whoever invented Tai Chi was just the best at not touching things in public restrooms. And apparently we all learn from the same master, right? The same Shifu, the same sensei, because we all do the same thing. And if you don't agree with me, you're lying. This is any of us trying to get out of a public restroom stall. All right, I'm good. Made it. Oh, my phone. I gotta go back in. That's what I get for tweeting on the toilet. Oh. That's how Tai Chi was invented. It wasn't one Asian monk who trained in the mountains for 20 years. It was one trucker who stopped at a pilot station in Colorado. He's just like, not today, use Band-Aid, get out of my face. Getting out of here unscathed. It's weird, people forget. People forget culture and heritage are different, right? You know what I mean? Heritage is just, your blood, who you are. You might be a little Irish, a little Scottish, a little, German, Chinese, whatever you are. But your culture is like who you grow up around, and I think that influences who you are more than anything, right? Your friends, your family, the people you're with right now, it's your culture. In Indianapolis, it was all black and white people. So I consider myself very culturally black and white. I talk very white around white people, as you can tell. And I talk very black around black people. Always an awkward silence, every show I've done, every time I say that. I don't care, judge me all you want. Those are my friends and family, I don't even care. You can judge me, all right? I say things like fidna. I'm finna go do some comedy. When I want someone to repeat something, I say, give it to me one mo again. And they usually do. And most importantly, when I want to get at the end of a story, but I don't feel like telling the middle of the story, I say things like woo woo to propel me to the end of that story. All right, confused white people, let me explain. Woo woo is just the black version of the phrase, one thing led to another. That's all that is. It's just to take up 80% of a middle of a story you don't feel like telling. Here's a black dude telling a story. Hey man, me and my boys cruising up to this club, and all of a sudden it's like woo woo woo. Dudes would come up and say and I was like woo woo woo. My friend's like whoop-de woo, and this was like woo 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 on this side and then I fell off a bridge. And you're like, you don't want to clear up the middle of that? You went to a club and then bridge falling off. That's how that story went. If it was a book, it'd be prologue, woo woo, epilogue, end of book. Why are they building bridges near clubs? What city are you in? You just never know. As a matter of fact, that's how I thought Obama should have just pacified white people who didn't like him in his speeches to just confuse them and leave. How great would that have been? He just goes up there, listen. Now, they questioned my health care. And you know what? They questioned my birth certificate as well. And to those people, I just have one thing to say. Woo, 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 legalize gay marriage. Thank you very much. We'd all been like, I don't know what his platform is, but I'm voting for this guy. I didn't understand any. And the best part is they would have to teach that to your kids in history classes later. Some social studies teacher would have been looking at your kids like, turn to page 4, and in 2012, Obama enacted the Woo Woo Act as a legitimate defense in a court of law. Turn to page 5. The weird thing is, the only people that ever gave me any grief for talking like that were not black people. It was white people. And I was like, you don't have a dog in this fight. You can't get offended on someone else's behalf. It doesn't make sense. My black friends, they didn't care. They just knew that was me being me, and I think they understood it was a sign of respect. Really think about it. If someone from another country came to this one and asked you for directions and whatever the accent is, I don't know how you get to the corner of this street, and you just rattle off fluent English, it's gonna be too much overload for them. They're gonna be like, I don't understand. No, slow down, please. But if you look them dead in the eyes and talk to them just like them, and you're like, yes, you do go to this corner of the street, and you take a 3 left and a 4 right, and you go backwards and the 4s. They're gonna be like, you are best American, I understand everything, everything. This way, right? Yeah. If you don't believe me, I had to do that to my own mom. I know I'm right about this. I'm just like, yeah, Mom, you're cooking, just take the chicken, put it in 300 degrees for 30 minutes. She's like, I don't, and I'm like, put it in at 300 degrees for 30 minutes. She's like, gotcha. That's why I don't even think you should teach foreign languages in schools anymore. You should just teach broken English in other people's accents. Why not? Spanish 101 course. Today, class, we're covering confrontations. Repeat after me. Das no yours, Holmes. Now you go. Very good class. A+, dismissed early. Let's go home.
My attorney said to me, when you die, do you want to be buried or cremated? So I said, surprise me. No spoilers. I was doing some research on the internet the other night. I discovered that there had once been a murder in the house that we're currently living in. It happened 2 years after we moved in. Raised a lot of questions, actually. I was a little kid when my grandfather died. I remember I asked my mother, I said, when I die, will I see Grampy again? And she said, not if you're good. So I've been busy. I had a job interview last week. The guy asked me like 100 questions. At one point he said to me, do you gossip? So I said, no, but you know who does. I haven't heard back from him yet. Little things bothered me. Yesterday, the guy that was supposed to fix our doorbell didn't show up. Or did he? Some mysteries will never be solved. My aunt retired this week. She worked at the DMV for 40 years. 40 years at the DMV. And in that time, she waited on nearly a dozen customers. Isn't that something? I was talking to my neighbors. My neighbor said to me, you don't know this about me, but I've had a lot of Botox. Only one of us was able to keep a straight face. My wife did that Ancestry.com. She discovered that one of her ancestors graduated in the first graduating class at Harvard in 1636. And get this, 2 weeks ago, he finished paying off his student loans. I got stopped by the cops last week. The cops said to me, "You were going 70 in a 50. I said, 70 is the new 50. I saw someone hitchhiking the other day. Hitchhiking. It's so dangerous. I came this close to pulling over and murdering him myself just to teach him a lesson.
We didn't get the parade, we got the month, Black History Month. That's our, not a big fan. Never liked it. Here's the truth, everybody's got a month. I don't know if you know that or not. In America, everybody's got a month. If you check the calendar, everybody's got a month. There's an Asian month, there's Hispanic month, there's LGBTXYQ month, and everybody's got a month. Just Black History Month is the one that's gotten all the fame, right? And like I said, never liked it. Mainly because I went to a predominantly white school growing up, and I was the only black kid in my class. And I don't know why you bother having Black History Month when there's only one black kid in the class. You know, hey, Rod, we're gonna take 28 days and just point out how different you are than everyone else in this room. That won't work on your psyche, will it? A little bit. I'm serious, my teacher would do that. Okay, tomorrow, Rod's gonna bring in something else from Africa, because it's Black History Month. Isn't that right, Rod? No. I can bring you something from Cleveland. I have never been to Africa. I don't know how I got in this prep school. I'm not that smart. I can't find Africa on a map. I went to a school, had 437 kids in it, 11 black kids. I'm the only black kid in my class. And here's the thing with kids, man. They tease you just because you're different. I'm the only black, they just tease, it's not racial, they just teasing me because I'm different, right? I remember one time we took a school field trip to New York City, and my classmates kept asking me, hey, Rod, take us up to Harlem, right? Show us around, you'll protect us, won't ya? No, that's not gonna happen. I'm 9 years old, I'm not protecting anybody. I came on the same bus from Ohio you idiots did. I don't know anything about it. Here's a little tip, because apparently white people, you don't know this, but black people, we're scared of black people too. So, and if you're black and you don't laugh, you're lying to yourself. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody black has had that moment where you walk in somewhere and there's a whole bunch of black people you don't know. You go, whoa, what is going on here? Get your purse, baby. We're not staying. I don't know who these people are. That's how bad this country really is in terms of like how we treat each other, right? Like how bad the stereotypes are, right? I'm afraid of my own people. I'm gonna tell you a true story. I went to the airport 3 years ago to go to Tampa, Florida. And when I got to my gate, it was all black people. All black people. Like there were 122 black people getting on the plane. And I'm like, what is going on here? I was concerned, right? I'm like, what am I flying? Soul plane? What is happening? Am I flying Soul plane? Is Kevin Hart the pilot? What is happening? I got so nervous, I called the flight attendant. Come here. Who are all of these people? I called my own people these people, right? And then she got cute. I thought they came with you, sir. No, that didn't happen. I didn't bring 100 and some black people to the airport in my Ford Focus. What are you, ridiculous? That's the reality, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of all the stuff that you hear in the world about race. The reality is we're exactly alike. Black people are scared of black people in large numbers when we're not expecting it, just like you are when you go someplace, well, not here in Utah, but if you got on a plane and you went to Las Vegas or some major city like Chicago or St. Louis, you would see a whole lot of black people and you would be scared because I've seen you. I've seen white people when you get in a room and it's all people that are not you. You get that weird hi thing that you do. Hi. So that little wave thing. Hi, hello, hi. I'm the exact same way. I get somewhere and there's a whole lot of black people I don't know. I'm nervous too. That's why I live where I live with all the white gay guys. Because I used to live in an all black neighborhood, I did, and I was nervous all the time. And wow, you guys don't know anything about it, but I'm serious. It's nerve-wracking. It really is, because I was just scared all the time, like, because you live in an all black neighborhood, you get robbed. Seriously, I'm not saying anything bad about my people. I'm just saying, that's what a guy could pull up in a moving van and take out all your stuff right out the front door, and your black neighbors will just look out the window going, ooh, he's getting robbed. Baby, they got his big screen. They're taking it. Should I call the police? You better mind your own business. That's why I like having white neighbors. I really do, because white people, you make a neighborhood safe. You do, because you're nosy. You ask questions. You ask a lot of questions. Let a strange black guy pull into my driveway. My gay neighbors will come outside. Hello, hi. I'm Steve. This is my boyfriend, Brian. Who are you exactly? Then I get home, right? I get the lowdown. Your friend Tyrone came by. He just bought a new car. He seems nice. White guys take their neighborhood seriously, man. They do. Like, here's a real thing. Like, a white guy hears the noise outside. Like, he gets up at 3 in the morning to go pee, right? And he hears the noise outside. And he looks out the window. And there's a guy out there messing with cars. He takes interest in that. What's going on out here? Honey, there's a guy out here messing with cars. What time is it, 3? Wake up, there's a guy out here messing with cars. What is he doing? What does that man do? I'm going out there. And you do. You go right out there. Nothing on but boxer shorts, black socks, sandals. You start yelling at the guy, hey buddy, hey buddy, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, you with the pistol and the ski mask on. What are you doing? Your black neighbors are looking out the window going, he's about to get shot, baby. He's about to get shot. That's not even his car. Why is he interested like that? That man keeps his neighborhood safe because I wouldn't go out there. I'm not going out there at all. It's not even my car. I don't care.
I did my makeup tonight to make myself look older and more tired. How'd I do? Thank you so much. Makeup is such a weird concept, isn't it? It's so random. Like, I'll get up in the morning, go into the bathroom, look in the mirror. Gee, I don't look so good. Maybe if my eyelids were blue, I'd be more attractive. Where did that come from? Okay, I'm doing it. Women don't want that. We don't want to look like toucans. That's not what we're going for. We want like what men want. Everybody wants to look younger. And gravity is making that impossible. That's why I keep a mirror by my front door to make sure I look presentable when I leave the house. So I was leaving the house recently, I looked in the mirror, and I saw something on my neck. So I leaned in a little more closely to see what it was, and it was my neck. My neck was hanging from my neck. How depressing is that? But I'm not getting plastic surgery. No, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. The most I'm willing to do is to hold my upper arm flaps back with chip clips. Because I don't want to hurt anyone when I'm waving goodbye. My skin has lost so much of its elasticity. Oh, man. You know what happened recently? I took a nap on a corduroy bedspread. It took 6 hours for the lines to come out of my face. It's insulting. And then, it doesn't stop. You know, I was in a ladies' room, one of the public restrooms, and it had one of those really high-powered hand dryers. You know those ones? The Dyson ones where you lower your hands into it? I looked down, and the skin on the back of my hand was flapping around like a flag. When I pulled them out, they looked like 4-day-old balloons. It's very depressing. But I like having gray hair. I really like having gray hair. It's very, thank you very much. It's very, thank you as well. It's very easy, it's very low maintenance, I love that. And I've noticed that I get a lot more looks from guys now that my hair is gray. And I think I know why. I think it's because they think I can't get pregnant. Yeah, guys like that. I'll tell you how old I am. I don't mind telling you how old I am, but let me see if you can guess. I'm going to give you a hint. I was at my friend's apartment, and I actually said this out loud to her. I actually said, "Boy, that's a nice pill caddy." That's how old I am. I had to get a new pill caddy recently because my doctor gave me a new prescription, and I'm on so much medication that I couldn't jam one more pill into the compartment. So I had to go to CVS to the pill caddies and prosthetics aisle. And it's an education. There's a whole hierarchy of pill caddies. You know, you start out with the entry-level pill caddy, the single compartment pill caddy. Then you move into the AM, PM pill caddy. Then the AM, noon, evening pill caddy. Then the AM, noon, evening, bedtime pill caddy. Then you have to hire a caddy to hand you pills all day until you pass out and die. All right, I'll tell you how old I am. This is how old I am, okay. I was walking my dog recently, and we're at the end of the block, and there was this kid about 11 years old, and he's riding his skateboard, and he's talking to his friend through his speakerphone. And I hear him say to his friend, "I'm on the corner of 18th and Oak." And then I hear his friend say through the speakerphone, "Are you near that old lady with the dog?" "I'm not an old lady. I'm not an old lady." No one's listening to me, by the way. I'm just screaming, "I'm not an old lady." Thereby proving I'm an old lady. I'm getting these old people coupons now, too. It's really nice. I got a coupon recently for ash burial at sea. A coupon. It said ash burial at sea, $595. And on the bottom, in smaller print, it said, "Reduce the high cost of dying." Gee, I'd like to die, but it's just so expensive. If there was a sale on dying, I'd be dead right now. Who's using the coupon is what I'd like to know. Who's got the presence of mind on that particular day? Well, we better make the arrangements. Oh, wait, I have a coupon! So, I have a daughter. We adopted a little girl from China. Thank you. And even though I adopted, I still got the epidural. That's right, I wasn't getting cheated out of that. I had tried getting pregnant. I was about 45 at the time, and my doctor was a little concerned about my age, so she ran a lot of tests, and she called me into her office. She sits me down, she looks at me very seriously, and she says, "Cathy, your eggs are old." I said, "Gee, well, so's your diploma, but I'm being polite." Yeah, my husband had a vasectomy and my eggs were old, so we decided to order out. Chinese. Yes, I'm 66 and I'm raising a 19-year-old. I'm past menopause, raising a college sophomore. Excellent planning. I'm a member of the PTAARP. 66 and 19 were such completely different stages of our lives. I remember when she finished toilet training, I was losing bladder control. One day she asked me to blow up a balloon, and I had to change my pants. It's not even a joke. Just reporting at this point. Yeah, 19. Anybody have a 19-year-old daughter? What a pleasure. Oh, man. She hates me, so she's right on track developmentally. The only thing she likes to do with me is go to Costco. I love Costco. I really do love going to Costco, but it doesn't make sense for me to go there anymore because there's nothing I can buy there that I'll live to finish. I can't use that many Q-tips. Every time I'm there with my daughter and we're leaving, I point to the cart and I look at her and I say, "Someday this will all be yours. This is my legacy." Yeah, I became a mom at 48. Crazy, just crazy. And it was exhausting. I mean, it's exhausting to be a parent at any age, but to be a new mom at 48 was insane. I'm gonna try to describe to you how exhausting it was for me when my daughter was a toddler. I had to get a colonoscopy. And I checked into the hospital, and I laid down on the bed. And my very first thought was, oh, this is so relaxing. I don't know why I haven't done this before. You have to shove what? Oh, I don't care. As long as you're not 3, you can't hurt me. I have learned so much by being a mom. I've learned that I no longer have any time or any money left. It's a thing of the past. You know, the closest I've come to having a facial lately is when I drain macaroni. Sometimes if I want a really deep cleansing facial, I just open the dishwasher mid-cycle and I shove my head right in. Then I close my pores with some Jet Dry. That's my beauty regimen, 59 cents a pop. My daughter, oh man. You know, she was always smart. She's still smart, but she was really smart when she was little. And one time she was bugging us to get her this little computer game thing, this Nintendo DSi. And she kept talking about it, and she kept saying how much better off she would be if she had a Nintendo DSi, how much better off the entire family would be if she had a Nintendo DSi. So finally we're getting ready to go on a long car trip, and I realized, you know what? She's right. We would be better off if she had a Nintendo DSi. So I went out and I bought her one. I came home, I handed it to her. She was thrilled, over the moon. She opens up the package and she played with it all afternoon into the evening until she had to go to bed. Next morning, she comes to find me and my husband and she says to us, "You've changed my life." A Nintendo DSi changed her life. Adopting her out of a Chinese orphanage? Not so much.
So I see we have a lot of generations here tonight, which I love because I love seeing different age groups. What's interesting now is that the generations are kind of fighting amongst themselves. Like the boomers are upset with the millennials, and the millennials are mad at Gen Z. So sometimes it's confusing as to, first of all, which group we're in and who we're supposed to be mad at. So I'm going to help y'all. Our oldest generation right now is called the silent generation. These people were born between the 1920s and 1940s. They're called the silent generation because when they were kids, they were to be seen and not heard. These are my in-laws. They're in their 90s. These are the people that still cook with lard and are afraid of microwave ovens. My in-laws have been married for 65 years. 65 years, it's great. And apparently, if you've been married that long, you no longer have the ability to hear the sound of the other person's voice. Because I go to their house, they both talk to me at the exact same time, 2 completely separate conversations. And I don't want to be rude, they're my in-laws, they're sweet people, so I try to go back and forth to both conversations, which is like having a conversation with somebody with a wandering eye. You don't know. You don't know which one to get in, right? You don't know which is the right one. So I usually go with my father-in-law because his stories are better. He likes, they really are. He likes to talk about the war against the squirrels in your backyard. He's fighting a war. He's spent $1,000 to save maybe $3 worth of bird food, I swear. He's got aluminum sheeting up all over the trees, and he has electrified their bird feeders. Awesome. So what happens is the little squirrel comes along and he's just trying to get lunch, and it will spin and electrify it and zing it off. And my father-in-law sits there all day with his binoculars. Look, here he comes, here he comes. Here he comes. Woo, there he goes. Woo! And he's the happiest man on the face of the earth. And that's why they've been married for 65 years. The next generation after the silent generation are the baby boomers, and the baby boomers were born between the 1940s and mid-60s. This is my mom's generation. These are the people that perfected smoking. They smoked at home, they smoked at work, they smoked in church, they smoked in restaurants between bites of food. There were ashtrays on the tables at McDonald's. They smoked in the car with their children with the windows rolled up very tightly. But we're all still here. Now, for some reason, the boomers are upset and mad at the millennials. And to be fair, everybody's mad at the millennials. And I think it's because they invented avocado toast. And the word artisanal. And they're putting pumpkin spice in way too many beverages that should not have pumpkin spice in it, right? And it's not their fault. Millennials, it's not your fault that you're big goobers. It's not your fault. It's not. It's because your Star Wars had Jar Jar Binks in it. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And it doesn't matter because the millennials are all getting married and having babies now and their lives are over, so it doesn't even matter at all. So after the millennials come Gen Z. Gen Z was born between 1995 and 2015. Gen Z, these are my kids. Good luck, America. Gen Z doesn't know how to write a check. They don't know how to address an envelope. They don't know how to read cursive. They don't know how to read a paper map. They can't get anywhere unless there's a GPS map on their phone. All I'm saying is if Gen Z takes over the world, it's going to be pretty easy to get it back. We're just going to write our battle plans in cursive on a piece of paper. And then mail it to ourselves in envelopes. Did I forget anybody? Did I forget any generations? Thank you, Gen X. Awesome. See, I didn't forget Gen X. I was born the first year of Gen X, like you, and I am so glad you're here. See, here's who forgot Gen X last year. CBS News forgot Gen X, a whole generation of people. They did silent generation, boomers, and they went down to millennials and post-millennials. They forgot 65 million of us. But here's all you need to know about Gen X. We don't care. We don't care. We raised ourselves. We don't care. As a matter of fact, we kind of like it. We kind of like it that you left us off your little list, CBS News. We're like the secret dive bar that only the locals know about. We don't have to advertise and we're never going out of business. Generation X, we are the latchkey kids that were raised by the boomer parents. We sat in the way, way back seat of our mom's station wagon, rear facing at the people behind us. Just waving, you know, just waving. Nobody wore a seatbelt. Not even in the front seat. If your mom's arm wasn't strong enough, you deserved to go through the windshield. We're all still here. We're never going out of business. We didn't have helicopter parents, and in fact, we had the opposite of helicopter parents. We had Home Depot parents, where it looks like there should be someone in the store there that could help you. But there's not. No one's coming. You're on your own. This is Home Depot. Do you need a skill saw? Well, there's only one left in the entire store, and it's way on the shelf way up there. Just grab yourself a ladder, my friend, and start climbing. And don't pull it over on yourself and cut your arm off because they're not going to take you to the hospital. In fact, it's going to be your fault that you got hurt. Here's what you get. Suck it up, blow on it, rub some dirt on it, walk it off, quit your crying. Welcome to Home Depot. That's what you get. Nobody cares cared that we were bored. Nobody cared what our grades were. Nobody cared that we were eating lunch out of a lunchbox that was filled with rust. You had a rusty lunchbox, didn't you? Nobody cared that we were getting pummeled in the face with real red rubber dodgeballs. Not the little foamy baby kind. The real red ones that left a crosshatch print. It left a print in your head until the next day. Just boom. Nobody cared. Nobody came to our athletic practices. Nobody brought sliced oranges. Certainly no one was arranging a play date. Here's how my mom arranged a play date. At 8 o'clock in the morning, my mama would say, y'all go outside and play. Boom, lock the door. Right? Yes. That's what we did. She locked the door. We weren't coming back in there. We were outside all day. We didn't have anything to eat. We didn't have anything to drink. We didn't have a juice box or any goldfish crackers. If we were thirsty, we drank out of where? Yes, the hose. And we're all still here. We're never going out of business. And the water was hot. Very hot. Now, what were we doing in the yard? What were we doing out there? Well, we were trying to kill each other. We had rock fights, we had dirt clod fights, we had green pine cone fights, and we had BB gun fights. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. But there were rules. We had rules. 3 pumps max. No intentional headshots. It wasn't anarchy. And on holidays, we upgraded our game. We had bottle rocket wars and Roman candle fights. And all my dad ever said was, don't shoot each other in the eye. It was okay. And eventually, we would go outside and we would get on our big wheels and we would ride in traffic. We made Evel Knievel ramps on cinder blocks with plywood that had nails sticking up out of it. Nobody wore a bike helmet. We're all still here. We're never going out of business.
One day, I am 19 years old. I am out of my mind, and I'm walking past a wall, and on this wall there's a poster, and it is advertising a martial arts tournament. A one-day, winner-takes-all, no-holds-barred martial arts tournament, like UFC-style death tournament, okay? I was like, that's me right there. Yeah, I'm gonna enter into the tournament. I will win, I guess, on account of my tenacity. Is what I was thinking. And I was like, everyone's gonna respect me now. They're gonna know I'm the realist. This is awesome. This is my ticket right here to respect. Now, many of you heard that and you're like, that's a terrible plan. If you fight people who actually know how to fight, they're going to punch your head off. And you would be correct. But it's worse than that, because I did not sign up for a one-day UFC-style death tournament. I accidentally, without realizing it, signed up for a one-day point-scoring karate tournament. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is not no holds barred. It is all holds barred, okay? Point-scoring karate is not so much fighting as a celebration of karate, okay? Most of the rule sets don't allow you to actually punch each other. You tap each other for points. The referee resets you. Everyone has a good time. Karate's fun, okay? It is not no holds barred. Most people don't even punch. It's crazy, okay? So I have signed up thinking it's a death tournament, but it is point-scoring karate. I go and tell my gang member friends, yo, I signed up for a one-day UFC-style tournament. Are you guys gonna come support me? And they're like, yes, we will be there. That sounds amazing. We will all be there. One of my friends is like, what division are you gonna fight in? And I was like, they break up these divisions by belt. I'm gonna fight in black belt. He's like, yo, that's crazy, because you don't have a black belt. And I was like, it's not a problem. And it wasn't. You can just buy a black belt. They're like $40. It's incredibly reasonable. We could all be black belts tonight, okay? No one stops you. No one asks you any questions. There's no written test. The guy who sells it to you doesn't even do one of these to see if you do karate back at him. He does it, you're like, he's like, that was pretty fast. You can have it. I'm watching you, though. No, none of that happens. I went to a store, I bought a black belt, and the guy who sold it to me upsold me a pair of nunchucks, okay? That I was later arrested for using. Now that's a fun sentence to say. I bought a black belt and I was sold nunchucks. But if you stop and think about what's happening in that situation, it's so much more insane than you think. Because here's what's happening. It is the year 2005. I have face tattoos in 2005. That's crazy, okay? Tattoos were not popular back then, all right? To have face tattoos was like, that's a gang member, okay? I walk up, buy a black belt, they like put it on the thing. He looks at me right in my stupid tattooed face, okay? Sees me, a gang member, buying a black belt I did not earn, obviously. And he thinks to himself, I'm gonna sell this guy nunchucks. What? Just like, is it morally right to do this? No. Am I gonna make the sale and get those shoes I've been thinking about? Absolutely I am. Like, what are you doing? He literally was like, hey, do you want nunchucks? And I was like, that's allowed? Chuck me up, let's go. He goes, do you want metal or wood? I was like, you know what I want. He sold me nunchucks that I was arrested for using in a bar fight. That's right. Sounds tough if you don't think about it. If you think about it for any amount of time, it sucks. It sucks a lot. Because the implication of that is that I was in my 20s going to bars with nunchucks, okay? It's stupid. I knocked a guy out full on. Bop, he went to sleep. Sounds tough, but then you have to stop and think about it, really. Because what that implies is that my brother and all my tough biker friends start a like Wild West bar brawl, and they're all fighting like men, and then here comes Shayne with nunchucks just like, I'm in the Matrix. And you better believe I didn't know how to use them, okay? Oh, I watched 0 YouTube tutorials, okay? The fight started and I was like, wait for me, guys, trying to get him out of my pants. No, I got it. I just hurt my hip immediately the second oh! How do they do this? I hit a guy so hard that they do work. They do work, though. Woo! Just knocked him out. Cold. I was arrested immediately. So fast. I got arrested so fast, it felt like cops were already in the bar. Like they were waiting for me. Like it was a kung fu sting or something. They were just in the bar, just like, yeah, Roger, yeah, it is nunchucks. No, Roger, those are nunchucks, move in. I thought in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna hit everybody with these nunchucks. I'm gonna hit so many people. I hit one guy, I hit 0 more people. So I hit him, I was immediately arrested, and this is why I will never forget this night for the rest of my life, okay? I get arrested super fast. Now, hands behind my back, in handcuffs. The cop is leading me out of the bar under arrest. One hand on the back of my neck, the other hand gripping the chain of the handcuffs. and he is pushing me out of the bar. And as he's doing it, he says to the back of my head, he goes, "Michelangelo is my favorite." I was just like, am I still in trouble? Oh yeah, you're super arrested right now. Like it's crazy how hard you're going to jail, dude. I was like, I just had to ask, you know. Dude, I would love, I've told this story on the road a whole bunch, and more than anything, I love imagining a guy in the audience hearing the story and being like, hold on. Sounds like the time I got hit with nunchucks. Just leaves the showroom, goes into the lobby with his phone, calls his friend answers. He goes, shut up right now. Do you remember in 2005 when I got knocked out in that fight and everyone made fun of me because I said I got hit with nunchucks? And all of you guys were like, no one brings nunchucks to the bar. You got knocked out regular. Well, he's here right now. No, I don't know if he has nunchucks on him. So... oh, man. So I have a black belt now, right? And I'm ready for the fight. So here's what happens. So I have my black belt, but the fight isn't for several days. I signed up, and I have to wait for the tournament. Now, I don't know if you guys can know by just looking at me, but I'm not a big consequences guy, okay? I don't think about them. Consequences, those are future Shayne's problems, okay? That guy hates us. But we don't care what he thinks, do we? We're out here living. So I signed up for this tournament, and I do begin to develop anxiety. I'm not used to waiting for a fight. Now, don't forget, I do believe I've signed up for a one-day UFC-style tournament. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, okay, well, I have confidence in myself, but these guys are like the best guys. They're black belts. Those are the best fighters, right? Now I'm like, what if they knock me out? What if they beat me up? What if they humiliate me in front of my friends? I'm going crazy. I have all this anxiety. I can't sleep. I'm obsessing. The day of the fights come, and I'm so nervous, I'm so racked with anxiety that I am not perceiving the world around me. As I walk into a high school gymnasium, okay, surrounded by children, all right? It is like noon on Saturday. This is not the time for a UFC-style death tournament. But that's not occurring to me, okay? I'm literally in a gym, like in a basketball court with the wrestling mats laid out, okay? There's people all over. In my mind, I'm so nervous that I'm just like, yeah, kids fight to the death too. Karate's crazy like that. I'm losing it, man. I'm so nervous. I send my gang member friends into the bleachers with the moms. And I sign in. I'm completely focused. Just looking at the mat. You can do this, Shayne. You can do this, Shayne. I'm freaking out. They announce the first pairing over the loudspeaker. They're just like, first up in the black belt division, we've got Shayne Smith versus Sensei Dan. It's like, the sensei. Right? That's the best guy. I was like, why am I fighting the final boss? That doesn't make sense. You don't do that first. I should fight 3 progressively bigger guys, and every time I beat them, I get some fruit, and that makes me healthier. Or something. To fight the best guy. Because in my mind, the sensei is the best guy, right? He's the sensei. What I am not realizing at the time is that every guy in this tournament is a sensei. They all own karate schools. All these children are their students. Why else would an adult be here? But I don't know that. I'm like, Dan's the sensei. He's the guy. This place is so casual, and everyone's having so much fun with each other, they didn't even call him by his last name. They called him Sensei Dan. That doesn't occur to me. I'm just like, well, Dan's the ultimate warrior. I walk into the circle to get ready for the fight. All right, I'm here, the referee's here. Dan comes out, and I see him for the first time. Now, I can only describe Dan as like, have you guys ever seen Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc.? You know that guy? All right. Now, I would never body shame someone, okay? Truly from the bottom of my heart, if you are living your life and you're happy and killing it, I'm happy and proud for you. You keep doing that. But let's all be real with each other. Some bodies are not karate bodies, okay? Dan did not exactly have a body for karate, okay? But that's not what I thought when I saw him. I was so amped up and so nervous that as soon as I saw him, my first thought was, well, that's what the Ultimate Warrior looks like. Crazy, all his muscle is in the middle of him like that. We've seen this before. He could probably deadlift 800 pounds. That's a power belly. That's what that is. Dan walks up to me, and we are facing off for the fight. Dan is wearing eyeglasses for the fight. Now, in point-scoring karate, you can't punch someone in the face. So he's safe to wear glasses. But I don't know that. I see my man wearing eyeglasses for a fist fight, and I'm just like, wow, you don't think I can hit you in the face? You're so confident that you're gonna matrix past all my punches. You wore glasses for the fight? Another level of confidence. It makes me nervous immediately. I'm just like, this guy thinks he's gonna knock me out before I could touch his glasses? This is crazy. I'm losing my mind. The referee's like, are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. And he's about to tell us to fight. Dan and I are existing in two separate realities simultaneously, okay? Dan is here smiling away at the point-scoring karate tournament to have fun with his friends and family. I am at the Mortal Kombat tournament fighting for my life. So the referee says, fight. And dude, before his hand is even all the way down, I am attacking Dan like a wild animal. Right? Because how do you beat the best guy? You gotta go right at him. I can't fight him on his terms. That's crazy. He's a master. So my plan is this. I go, well, Dan's the best guy. He's a karate master. He's the sensei. So I'm gonna throw like 9 strikes in a row at him, and he will casually block all of them. But maybe one gets through. And that is my ticket to victory. I'm gonna overwhelm him. I'm gonna surprise him with my confidence and aggression. So that's what I do, dude. The ref's hand is even all the way down, and I am attacking him like a maniac. The first strike I throw at Dan, big kick. Dan does not block it. And, in fact, chooses to absorb all of it into his stomach. And then he takes a step back, doubles over, and made a sound I've never heard since. He sounded like a whale got the wind knocked out of it. He just went, ooh. Ooh. And then from this position, he chose to lay on the ground. So I'm standing there just like, caught Sensei Dan slipping. Nice, right? Got him. And I'm looking at him on the ground, and the ref walks up, and the ref goes, don't look at him, turn around. I was like, what is happening? He goes, turn around, don't look at him. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. And he goes, don't look at him, turn around. And I was like, what, like he's a Medusa? And I put my hand over my eyes. The referee physically grabs me and turns me around. I was like, yo, dude, are we fighting from behind right now? What is happening? So, for those of you who are wondering what's happening, in point scoring karate, if you hurt your opponent or they like fall down, in this rule set you're supposed to know, oh, they fell down, and immediately turn around and like kneel and look away so that your opponent has space and time to regain their composure with dignity, okay? But what I did was kick my man in the stomach pretty hard, okay? And then he laid on the ground writhing, and I just looked at him like, what now, Dad? And the ref was like, turn around, and I put my hand over my eyes like his pants had popped off. Now, it is fair to say at this point, they know I'm not a black belt, okay? So, the ref turns me back around, and to Dan's credit, he's up and he wants to keep fighting. Dan is about that action, okay? Now, this is the worst thing that can happen to me. Because don't forget, nothing has broke my illusion that Dan is the best guy. I just think my strategy worked and I got him. But I didn't stop him. He wants to keep fighting, and now he's angry. I have awoken the dragon that lives inside Sensei Dan. He's gonna super move me, and I'm gonna die. Right? He's gonna Hadouken me or something. It's gonna quarter circle forward B, and it's over. So, I'm standing there, and the guy's like, are you ready to fight? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, Dan, are you ready to fight? Dan's like, yeah. And then he says, fight. Before his hand is even down, I'm jumping the gun again. I'm jumping away from Dan as far as I can to the edge of the circle. I can't be on the attack twice. That's not how that works. I'm on the defense. I jump away from Dan like the minute I can. Dan, I think, wanted revenge because he tried to kick me doing some Karate Kid jumping thing. But because I was already jumping away from him, his jumping kick whiffs completely. And then he falls forward towards me, foot forward, head down, because don't forget, big on top, small on bottom. All right? So now he's down, bent down, head towards me, arms back like he's Naruto running, okay? Now, in point scoring karate, you are not allowed to punch someone in the head. So, arms back, head towards me, that's fine. But I don't know that. I see Dan's head lined up like a T-ball, and I do what any of you would have done. And I was just like, United States of America, and I punched him in the head as hard as I could. Dan's glasses explode off of his body, and he goes to sleep. He goes the whole way. I have knocked him out. I have starched Sensei Dan. All right, he is fully out. I didn't even knock him out regular style. He got knocked out Looney Tunes style, okay? Do you know when someone gets knocked out so hard, they go rigid first, like, I'm a tree, and then they go to sleep like. He was down like this, and then he went straight up like a board, Wile E. Coyote, and then he went down. I distinctly remember looking at him on the ground being like, I killed Sensei Dan. Interesting. So some lady yells right away. She's like, get away from him! Some guy's like, Dan, are you okay? And I'm just standing there like, did I win or what? I don't know the rules. So, you would think hundreds of people in this gym, right? That I just knocked Dan out. A lady is yelling at me. Every eye in this gym should be on me and Dan. But not one person is looking at us. No one in this gym is looking at us. Every eye, hundreds of people, is looking directly at the bleachers. Where I realize I left my gang member friends. Who just watched me win a fight by knockout. And they are losing their minds. Dude, just full-grown men with face tattoos surrounded by moms screaming like they're powering up in Dragon Ball Z, just losing losing it, dude. One of my friends is grabbing a child by his shirt like, you seeing this? Someone jumped over the bleachers, walked onto the wrestling mats wearing his boots, took his shirt off, and was like, who else wants to smoke? People were like, it's not a group thing. He was like, it could be though. Dude, just one of my friends in a random mom's face WWE style, like, bleh, like, bro, she's not a part of this. What are you doing? So, I was banned from karate forever. I was just like, tough but fair, right? That makes sense. So I had to go gather up my friends, and I was like, I'm banned, and they were like, is that our fault? Team effort. That was all of us. This was an us thing, not a me thing. All right. And honestly, can I be real with you guys? I think being banned from karate is cooler than having a black belt. Okay? Yeah, that's right. You are correct to cheer.
By the way, it's like, I hate talking about this, but it's happening outside. They're killing black people outside. They're killing Asians. They're killing white people in movies like Iron Man, and I hate that. And my cousin's so stupid. She's like, you know what? Don't worry, Ron. We're safe. We're not Chinese. We're Filipino. I'm like, are you crazy? You think the racists know the difference between Chinese and Filipino? You know what the difference between Chinese and Filipino to a racist is? The difference between a Honda Civic and a tinted Honda Civic. One's a little darker, but more stylish. That's it. Filipinos were not even full Asian. The government didn't know we were. They just put us in an Asian category. We're actually mixed. We're half Asian and half Latino. When my parents came to Canada, they had to fill out a form for the government to choose what race they were. They had to check mark white, black, Latino, Asian, or Middle Eastern. They would check mark Asian and then Latino, have two lines drawn on one, and then write Filipino. It was true, we're half Asian and half Latino. See, what happened was, back in the day in the 1500s, Spain went to Philippines, made love to everybody, and then left us. It's like, where's your dad? On those boats. Where are they going? To the Caribbean. Why? To make Cubans now. That joke never works in Miami, by the way. And my parents taught me English. It was kind of weird because they had the Filipino accent, so I grew up with an accent. You know how messed up that was? I had a Filipino accent growing up, but I wasn't born in the Philippines. I didn't know how to speak Filipino either. I just had a Filipino accent as a kid. The teacher's like, so where are you from? Canada! Are you sure? Positive! You can't speak any Filipino? Not at all. This kid's a North Korean spy for sure. I remember the report card read, Ron has a problem pronouncing his F and P's and V's and B's. He pronounces friends as friends. My dad's like, why do you pronounce friends as friends? Who taught that to you? You have a freaking problem, you know that? I'm big for a Filipino too. My dad's not even 5 feet tall. He keeps looking at me like I'm a monster. Look how big you are. Look at my creation! Like Frankenstein. They love seafood, they love fish. Tilapia, red snapper. My dad's favorite fish is called milkfish. It's from the Philippines. There's 1 million bones in the fish, and he can't get enough of it. Here's my dad every Sunday morning. Number 1 fish from the Philippines, milkfish. Number 1! Call the doctor. And the cat's looking at him like, call the doctors. We have delicacies. Any Filipinos here? Make some noise. Okay. You're not Filipino here? No? No? Just say you are. Anyways, make me feel comfortable. We have delicacies in our community. Every culture is a delicacy, which means it's gross. That's why they call it a delicacy. You have to be delicate to the situation. That's like having an ugly child. You can't call the child ugly. You have to call it smart. You know, he's a genius. He'll be fine. Look away. Filipinos has this one delicacy called balut. Oh, you guys know this? Do you have Filipinos in your basement? What's going on here? If you don't know, it's a duck embryo. Relax, I'm not selling them to you after the show as merch. I'll sign your bullet. To explain, the first week of any egg's a yolk. The fourth week, it's the bird. It's right smack dab in the middle. I don't know why Filipinos eat this. We couldn't wait for the process to end. Can you pull the plug now? I'm hungry over here. I saw this in that TV show Fear Factor. Remember that Joe Rogan show? This guy wouldn't eat balut for $50,000. My dad was like, that's bull crap! I have two in my pocket right now. 50,000, very easy. My dad used to sell these bullets to the Filipino community in Toronto back in the 80s. When I was 6 years old, I was a prankster. What I would do, take a cooked bullet from home, bring it to school, put it under a tree, take the bullet halfway out to make it look like it fell from the nest. I know, I was a messed up kid. I went to therapy for this. But anyways, and the kids would gather, oh my gosh, there's a baby bird that fell from the tree. That's so sad. I walk in, how much did you pay me to eat it? 6 years old, that was a diabolical genius. The principal called my dad, Mr. Josol, your son's eating dead birds falling from trees. Are you stupid? No, Dad, it was a scam. I made $100 for one balut. I'm gonna take you, bring it to school, and you can do it again. You're a genius. Look at my creation.
People say that all the time. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's an annoying thing. I'm just saying. Yeah, there's just the two of us. And I didn't say it. And as you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Have I stopped you at any point along this conversation and said to you, I really am confused about what it is you're saying. Could you please reword it some other way so maybe I get the gist? Then there's the one, it goes without saying. You ever hear people say that? That's annoying because the people that say that, those kind of people, they're not going without saying. They're gonna say. My only hope is that I get away, I go before they say anything. My mechanic has a great expression, more than fair. More than fair, that's what, if I argue about a bill with him, he'll say, we charge you a price we think is more than fair. What does that mean? He figured out what was fair and then charged me more. Yeah, we figured out $75 was fair. We charge you $150. We're being twice as fair. I'm just saying. Things are a lot different. I'm getting old. One thing I learned, here's something I learned about getting old that I've realized recently. And if you're my age out there, you'll back me up on this. Even as you get older, in your head, you're not old. In your head, you don't get old. In your head, you're still like 20, 25 years old. It's kind of amazing. But there are things during the day that remind you that you're old. Like things like standing up. And then having to sit down because you stood up too fast. And then all the blood rushes to your head, and you go, oh, am I going to die? No, okay. That's the most exciting part of my day. You know what else makes me feel like a 30-year-old calling me sir? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Hey, drop dead, kid. Filling out a form online makes you feel old, you know, because you put your name and your address and your phone number, then you get to your birthday, put the day and the month, and then you got to scroll. An hour and a half later. I'm taking a nap in between. Also, mirrors are the worst. Mirrors are the virtual reminder that you're old, because you're walking around in your head, you're 20 years old, all of a sudden you see yourself in the mirror, you go, oh, excuse me, sir. Things make me, some things confuse me. Like, I saw an ad, not an ad, but a headline about the census. About the census. It said that 42% of Americans didn't fill out the census. Now, how do they know that? You know what else confuses me? But contractions with two words, they're shortened. How come the contractions for do not is don't? Cannot is can't, but will not is won't. Shouldn't it be willint? I mean, it sounds weird when you say willint, but if that's what it always was, it wouldn't sound weird. You'd be saying it every day. You're at a protest? Heck no, we willint go. You're talking to your kids, they're acting, I willint put up with this behavior. You're hosting a party, you want to get people to eat. Hey, willint you try the hors d'oeuvres? I think I willint. Why willint you? I can't say. Can't or willint? There's another thing that gets me. You ever try something new when you eat? You try something exotic or different, and when somebody asks you what it tastes like, what does it always taste like? Chicken. Always tastes like chicken. Everything tastes like chicken. Here's my question. How come eggs don't taste like chicken? I don't know either. I read something interesting the other day. You know what praying mantises do after they mate? No, they don't kill each other, then there'd be no mantises. But you're close. After they mate, praying mantises, the female bites the head off the male. This guy shows up for work on Monday. Everybody knows how his weekend went. There are no secrets in the mantis world. There are no affairs either, I suppose. You come home with no head, you try to explain to your wife where you've been. And you know how that works out. I saw a commercial the other day for a mattress company was doing a commercial on TV, and their slogan was, we take sleep to the next level. We take sleep to the next level. What is the next level of sleep? Death. I don't think I want that mattress. Do you have a mattress where I wake up refreshed and feeling alive? That I could get into. Everything's changed too. The news. You watch cable news, there's too much going on cable news, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, there was just one guy talking to you on the screen telling you the news, and it was always a guy, because until like 76, they didn't realize women could read too. Enlightened world we lived in. But there's just too much going on the screen, you know what I mean? There's like the person there, the anchor, and then there's that grid of people in squares. It looks like the Brady Bunch is there to answer political questions. And then there's the crawl on the bottom. The crawl, I hate the crawl. The crawl, because I can't not look at it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to pay attention to the person talking. I'm, yeah, I'm listening. Okay, yeah, good, I'm listening. I got you. No, I'm not paying attention. But 5 minutes in, I'm looking at the crawl. And that gets me mad because I'm paying like $150 a month for cable, and now I'm reading the TV. And I can't concentrate on what I'm reading because this guy keeps talking. It's like, hey, shut up, I'm trying to read the news. You know what they didn't have when we were young too? When I was young, they didn't have the live satellite feed. You know that thing where guy in America can talk to somebody 5,000 miles away and instantly they're connected. But it's not always so instant. You ever notice that? There's always like some kind of gap of time between when the guy asks the question and the other guy hears the question. Sometimes it's a pretty big gap too. Sometimes you could go out for lunch. But you know, the guy in America goes, well, Jim, it must be harrowing there on the eve of such a big battle. And then Jim's over there. Yes, Bill. Was it worth it? You ever watch regular TV, you know, like network TV during prime time, and they go to a commercial, and before they go back to the show, like the late night news does some little blurb for what's coming up at 11. You know what I mean? It's always some horrible thing. They go, danger is lurking in your neighborhood. More at 11. And I'm like, more at 11? How about everything now? It's only 9 o'clock. That's 2 hours of lurking danger. And I don't know if you noticed, but I live in my neighborhood. What if Paul Revere did that? What if Paul Revere rode down the city of Boston going, somebody's coming, more at 11. I'll tell you what would happen. We'd be speaking with a British accent today. You know, I just had my birthday. I don't like birthdays anymore. It's diminishing returns on the birthday thing. You know what I mean? Especially gift-wise. I haven't gotten a good birthday present since I was like 50. I got a theory about that. My theory is that people think you have everything you need by the time you're 50, so they don't care what they get you after that. They'll walk into the store, the first thing they see, go, let's get that and get that out of here. But honey, that's a ceramic monkey. Well, does he have one? He does now. You know what somebody gave me last year for my birthday? They gave me the button-fly jeans. You know, things that got the 5 buttons instead of 1 zipper. Yeah. I had to give up liquids because of these pants. It's one thing I don't need after a couple of beers, and that's a dexterity test. Nobody can get in there. David Copperfield cannot get in those pants after a couple of shots. And I'm talking about David Copperfield, the magician, not the Dickens character. I think these jokes are much funnier if you know who I'm talking about. If you own a pair of button-fly jeans, here's a tip for you. Wear diapers. Seriously, that way you can be standing at a bar with somebody and go, you know, I'm peeing right now. And I am.